All right. Prince Juan was allowed to take a number of bags of gold as he went into exile. However, a guard at the first bridge he crossed demanded half the bags of gold plus one more bag. Juan met this demand and proceeded to the next bridge. The guard at the second, third, and fourth bridges made identical demands, all of which the prince met. When Juan finally crossed all the bridges, a single bag of gold was left. How many bags did he start off with? All right, so this is a nice problem-solving activity. It's a completely random question. There's no formula I can give you that will all of a sudden have it make sense. So you just kind of have to play around with numbers. I do see this interesting pattern that on the fourth bridge, he ended up with one bag. So let's actually let me rephrase this. At the end, he ended up with one bag. Okay, so what did he have on the fourth? Well, he had to have enough bags of gold that when let's see, what did he do? Let's get the sentence here. Demanded half the bags plus one more. Okay, so let's reverse the order. So if I give you half of what I have and then I throw one on top of it, so let's throw one on top and then double. Okay, so if I'm at 1, so if I go 1 plus 1, and then I double that, how many bags do I have? I have 4. So let me go to the third bridge. Okay, so we're going to take that 4, we're going to throw the 1 on top, and then double. So he must have had 10 at the third bridge. That puts him at the second. So we want to add the 1 and double. Okay, that's supposed to be 22. Okay, then the first bridge, so 22 plus 1, and then double that. Okay, so when he got to the first bridge, he must have had 46 bags on him. Okay, the first guy says, I want you to give me half of what you have plus 1. So he says, okay, 46 divided by 2 is 23. So half would be 23, and then he gives one more on top of the 20, or one less than that. Sorry, one more than that. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, bear with me a second. Okay, so he goes to the first bridge, and the guy says, give me half plus 1. Well, 46 over 2 is 23. Right, and then he says, give me one more on top of that. So 23 plus 1 is 24. So he hands over 24 bags. Well, what's 46 minus 24? That's 22. So the second bridge, he has 22. And the second bridge guy says, well, give me half plus 1. So he gives him 11 plus 1 more is 12. He gives him 12. And now he's down to 10. So he goes to the next guy. He says half plus 1. So he says, all right, well, half of 10 is 5 plus 1 is 6. So I'm going to give you 6. That means I'll have 4. Okay, so it does fit the pattern. It does work. All right, last question. Then I'll just make a couple of closing thoughts about these word problems. So on a college test, the student receives 4 points for every question he answers correctly and a penalty of 7 points when the question is answered incorrectly. On this particular test, Terry answered 87 questions correctly and 46 incorrectly. What was Terry's score? Okay, so the tricky part is you have to understand what it's asking you to do. They got 87 questions right, and each of those 87 questions he got 4 points for, but we have to subtract off the incorrect. So he got 7 points for each one that he missed. So that's what I have to type in my calculator, and I should end up with a score of 26 points. Okay. So, the last comment I'll make real quick about this. So these application questions, I'm not testing these specific questions. These are just practice problem solving, practice critical thinking. I mean, what I'm looking for is that you can read the question, understand what it's asking, and identify which correct operation that you would need to use. I mean, you can make a list of vocab words that mean, this word means add, this one means subtract, this means multiply. But this is just practice, 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 and see if you can get better at understanding these application questions, because there are several, just like on the review, there are several on the actual test. So good luck, and I know you will do well.